Okay, so I'm watching Francesca Quinn PI, and like, this movie is crazy. I am literally 7 minutes and 12 seconds in. And in those 7 minutes, they've kind of shown us like an entire movie. Like, this isn't going to be a spoiler because you're going to see this in the first 7 minutes, but it's her and it's Francesca, and she works. She's a forensic, an evidence person in the police department, and her dad is the chief, and they're talking about all these murders or these deaths that don't seem like they're related or anything, and that she and her friend Win like connected all the dots, but they act like they're together, but they're not together. But anyway, they added up all this stuff, and like six different murders all wound up having the suspect of her stepmother, who is, oh my god. So then, and then, uh, so she gets arrested, and then the chief steps down because of that, and uh, then we see a year later she's with this guy who had come into town to like write about the case, who was her high school sweetheart, and it looks like they're together, but then he wrote a book, but she's mad about the book because of the way that he told the story of her and Win. And then he says, oh, look at that bracelet you're wearing, it says something about my soulmate, and that Win had given that to her. And then so they have a little beef right there, and then she leaves, and then the next thing we know, fiance's getting murdered. This is literally 7 minutes into the movie, so I feel like they took 7 minutes to make like I feel like that could have been like a whole movie, like explaining, because we don't know why her stepmom like killed all these people or anything. So I'm just sitting here like, what is happening right now? The voiceover they're doing is trying to be like reminiscent of film noir type detective things or something, and it's um just seems hammy and weird. And I really love this actress, and I can't think of her name, but in real life, I'm pretty sure she's English, and she's been in at least one other Hallmark thing, but I also know her from something else. Oh, from Gallivant, I think. Was that the name of it? Which is a really fun show that was on ABC for a couple seasons. One season or a couple seasons. Anyway, it was super fun. Anyway, show is bananas. So I'm gonna keep watching it and see what I think, because right now, like, yeah, I don't know what to think. I'm very like, I'm all over the place right now. So let me get back to this. I'm gonna go ahead and start my review of Francesca. First of all, hi. It's gonna be the first Hallmark I think I've done in a bit. I'll have to go look it up and see how long it's been since I've done a review. I've failed miserably at that because I've been watching. I always say this, so I apologize. If you actually watch my videos, I apologize if I say this every single time, but like, I've been like hooked on British mysteries. Between that and work and life and stuff, like Hallmark just fell by the wayside. Also, from starting some Hallmark movies this year and just being like, I can't even get into it, blah, blah, blah. But Christmas movies are starting, like the third week of October, as they do. And I'm going to watch all of them. So, yeah. Anyway, what I'm watching right now, or what I'm about to finish because I mercifully only have 13 minutes left, is Francesca Quinn PI. I went into this with, I'm not going to say high hopes, I'm going to say medium hopes, because I really like the lead actress, whose name is completely escaping me right now. She's done at least one other Hallmark movie that I liked, and I will figure out what that is and say so. And then she was in Gallivant, which was a TV show on ABC that I really liked a lot. So I really like her. And I also like the male lead. And I want to say he was in the Christmas movie last year with Tori DeVito, where her fiance dies, like right at the beginning of the movie. It's super sad, and I can't remember the name of it, but I really love that movie. So I really like him. So yeah, medium to medium high hopes that I go into with this. This movie is like I okay, let's say the good part right now. I appreciate what they're trying to do. So what they're trying to do is make this kind of a film noir thing with the voiceover from Francesca, like film noir. And I think there have been other like cop shows where they tried to do that. Like I'm picturing like I don't know. Like I'm completely blanking right now. I was gonna say Dragnet, but I don't know that Jack Friday ever did voiceovers or anything. But it's very they're going for a noirish thing like Humphrey Bogart, Maltese Falcon, or like oh my gosh, I'm so tired right now. I think I was already tired, and this movie just like sucks out my energy. But I'll try to think of some more examples of film noir of what I'm talking about, where it's like very gritty, like a very gritty voiceover, like the tough streets of Chicago and da 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 da. I don't even fucking know how to explain it, but they're trying to do that, but it's just not working. Like it's not. It takes me every time that they have her do a voiceover like that, it completely takes me out and I see what they're trying to do. And because everything is so bad, like the writing is terrible, the acting is terrible. Like I I think they're okay, let me rephrase that. I think the leads are fine and they're doing the best that they can with what they have, but I think that the writing is pretty terrible on this. Yeah. So, um, but in defense of the movie, I have tried to sit down and watch this in like, I don't know how many parts. Like, this may literally be like the sixth or seventh time that I'm sitting down. So, that's been put out in all these pieces. And I started like 2 weeks ago, maybe. So, there are a lot of moving parts. I don't necessarily fully understand what is happening with regard to certain things, and the I'm waiting for them to explain to me the motivation of at least one person who turns out to be involved, because I don't understand it at all. um yeah, it's making me very much wish that I was watching like Aurora Tea Garden, because or RIP Garage Sale Mysteries, because they're light and fluffy and fun, and this is not fun. If that makes any sense. Like I'm coming to Hallmark movies and mysteries because I also want to have a little bit of fun, and this one is just they're not having fun. And I think maybe if they had had fun on top of what they're trying to do, that it might have been a different outcome. I'm not saying it to be funny, but they're taking themselves too seriously, and it's silly, but not in a good way, because of the fact that they're going for this noir type of thing, and I'm not buying what they're selling, if that makes any sense. Let me go watch the ending and see if I have anything, if for some reason in the next 13 minutes my opinion changes about this movie. So we'll see. And I totally forgot, the other thing that's completely bonkers about this movie is that the way it starts out is like, saying this right now is making me think that I really did already start reviewing this movie, and I have videos somewhere about it, but it doesn't matter because we're starting fresh right now. Um, it starts out with like telling us a story that goes for like a long period of time, like over a bunch of months, or even or longer. I can't remember now because it was like 2 weeks ago, but like it tells like an entire like murder mystery set. So like right off the bat, that like all there were a bunch of people that were killed, and who it was that killed them, but now somehow that character is responsible for stuff that's going on in the action now. And it's just, when I started this movie, I was just like, there are so many things that are happening right now, and they are telling us so many things. Like, it feels like there had been a first movie, and like this was part two, which isn't the case. Um, and that it was literally like they were recapping a movie, and so overly, again, overly ambitious with the noir voiceover, with trying to have too many bits and pieces. And like, I mean, I love to watch mysteries. I just started watching Vera right now, and that show is not light and fluffy. And it's like Death in Paradise, for example. Death in Paradise is always very straightforward. Like, you bam, meet the five, 4 or 5 suspects right off the bat. It's going to be one of these people. It's going to be somebody who was close to the person. It's not going to be a complicated reason why they murder them, like, at all, and it's going to be light and fluffy along the way. Like, Vera's not like that. Like, it like has all kinds of like bits and moving parts and stuff like that. But I managed to keep up and understand what's going on. Granted, I've only watched 2 episodes so far, but so I'm not feeling like, like I'm not smart enough to understand what's going on. But also, again, doesn't help that I've tried to watch this in like, 7 chunks or whatever, and that I may not be fully paying attention the whole time because it's bad. So that's probably part of the problem. So anyway, let me go back to this. I mean, I don't think so, but I'm done, and that was like depressingly terrible. The wrap up was so unsatisfying. There were so many things that were, it was like they took every single like mystery type of thing that they could think of and threw it in a blender, and it came out just the way you would expect, like, a smoothie to come out if you went to your refrigerator and put all of the leftovers in a blender and then attempted to drink that. It would probably be pretty bad. And I'm going to say that's this movie. That's the way I can sum up this movie. Because at least when you get to the end and you find out who it is and you find out their motivations and stuff, then it's like, oh, okay, we have some closure or something like that. But it still didn't really make any sense. Like, it's kind of like the shit happened because this one lady was a psychopath serial killer, and then so were the people that helped her, kind of thing. Like, that's all. I'm gonna say 1 star only because of the 2 leads, and that's being generous. It's terrible. Don't watch it. Um, yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and piggyback this on a review. I'm going to finish up this Nikki and Nora mystery that I'm watching, and I'm going to run these all together. So this will be like a mystery double feature. And I can tell you that one, it's not that it's great, but it's way better than this one for sure. So, okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I finished Nikki and Nora Sister Sleuths. Much, 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 much better than Francesca Quinn PI. I like Hunter King. She was in, I don't remember the name, Hidden Gems, which I enjoyed. And also Rhiannon Fish. I feel like I know her from something, but I think when I was looking her up, I'd only seen one other Hallmark movie, and it's one that I hadn't finished. It's one that I started and didn't finish, and I can't remember the name of it, of course. Splash of Love, I think, maybe. Which at some point maybe I'll go back and watch, because I like her, but again, I feel like I've watched a whole movie with her. I'll have to investigate. Anyway, they are good casting to have them be fraternal twins. They inherit a detective agency, and at the end of the movie, we still don't really know why they inherited it, which is kind of cool because they are, in the way the movie ends, it's definitely set up that there will be another one of these, and I would totally watch it. Uh, you know, um, I'm gonna say it's Hallmark movies and mysteries. So you're going to keep your expectations low. You're going to go in there, and I like the interaction between the two of them. I like the interaction between there's a detective character in this, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was cute. It's I have so much more to say when I don't like something, but I won't really tell you. I mean, what they wind up investigating is Nora's boss's murder. When the movie starts, the sisters are estranged. They haven't seen each other in like 10 years because Nikki split when their parents died. She didn't want to be like in the house. It was too hard, but that, they literally like have been estranged and haven't talked to each other in all this time. So, it's working that stuff out. And then Nora's boss gets murdered, and, they work together. They're kind of fall into doing some detecting, and they have to make a decision about whether or not they're going to sell this detective agency, but at the end they decide to keep it, which is great. That's not a spoiler. I mean, that's going to happen. The name of the movie is Nikki and Nora, Sister Sleuths, which is so silly, but it's cute. I enjoyed it. I will totally be looking forward to whatever comes out next. I'm sorry I don't have more to say about it. You should just go watch it. It was cute. It was entertaining. It was light, and it was fluffy, and with a murder, basically, like these things are. So that's it. That wraps up my Murders and Mysteries double feature review. As always, thanks for listening. Bye.